Serious people who like their job, what do you do? I think up and draw cartoons. Every day. A syndicated comic for newspapers. Only learned to draw at age 43, so it's been a cool midlife turn. I'm one of those handful of people trying to be at least a fraction of what Gary Larson was slashes. Oh wow, you have just made my day. I just started taking drawing lessons at age 48. Would love to somehow make it into a kid's book. I have the ideas and the characters. Just need to draw them. All the best to you. I know the feeling. I've heard it said the best time to start is when you're 20. The second best time is tomorrow. I'm a speech therapist working with stroke patients. I love rehab. I tried pediatrics, but it was not my thing. Rehab is for me. I was scrolling to find this. I'm also an SLP working in rehab/acute care, although our profession is greatly misunderstood. I love working with brain injuries and giving families education. We help people when they are at their lowest, and that's enough for me. Can't thank you all enough. My father had a massive stroke when I was a kid, and I'll never forget those moments in the rehab center spent with him recovering. Makes you appreciate conversations and interaction so much more. Went from able to have a conversation to never being able to fully understand what my father wants to say. He'll say phrases and can say a handful of words, but it's his frustration that upsets me. In his mind he knows it, but it just can't come out. But at the same time, there are those other stroke patients who any form of interaction is lost completely. I'm appreciative of being able to interact with him in this capacity, and appreciative of the work you all do dealing with this whole spectrum. Matte painter for film. It's fun and lives at the intersection between having to have artistic talent and technical experience. Honestly, sometimes it can be maddening, as I come from a creative background, traditional illustration and sculpture, so certain programs are like going from speaking French to speaking Chinese. But all in all, it's fun to see your work when it's composited into a film and get to see the shots before any VFX goes in. Frankly, it's surprising just how many movies use VFX. And I can assure you it's almost everything you have seen, including smaller independent films. I knew there were VFX in nearly everything. I didn't realize that matte painting was still done. I assume it's digital at this point. Yeah, it's super common. Much of the time, when you're seeing a shot with a horizon or something far enough off that it appears flat, you're looking at a matte painting. It's just done digitally these days and then blended with other element by a compositor. Seaplane pilot, charters, sightseeing, flying fishing, and seaplane flight training. I make replicas of dinosaur fossils for museum display. The company I work for does full-sized replicas, but I primarily work in the division that creates teeth and claw replicas, and a few scaled-down skull replicas for gift shops. Mon dude, all the other comments are asking as to how you got into that. Spill the beans. Beans shall be spilled, now that I'm awake. Anyway, I got the job on accident. Honestly, my previous job was falling apart because of the pandemic, so I was keeping an eye out for other stuff. And I saw a Facebook post that this place was hiring. So I threw together a quick resume and cover letter, and a week later I was making fossils. I have no background in paleontology, just a degree in illustration, but I've never done paleo art. If anyone is interested, you can check out our online teeth and claws shop here. Link deeptomafossils.com/ and we also just launched a new thing called fossil crates, which you can find here. Link fossilcrates.com. I'm a night shift worker at a manufacturing facility. I love being able to set all my machines, read a book, or play on my 3DS, and be by myself. Once all my machines are set, I just need to change finished parts for new blanks every 15 to 20 minutes. That sounds awesome. I did computer operator in a data center for 4 years on third shift, 12 AM to 8 AM. 99% of it was watching YouTube and waiting 15 minutes between throwing more paper into a large data center printer. Day went by fast, dealt with no people, and learned a lot through reading while on the shift. I'm a locomotive engineer. It's badass controlling thousands of horsepower and tons all with my hands. I love running with the window open, listening to the power working and waving at people when they wave with more than one finger. I'm in my late 30s and still get excited to give you guys and gals a wave. Trains are super cool. Thanks for waving. I always try to wave back. It's nice seeing people happy to see us. Usually they're mad that we're in the way or honking the horn. Waste management. I drive a garbage truck. I start early, but there are days I'm off at noon. A full 8 hours for me ends at 1:30, and I work 5 minutes from my house. I'm in the ack all day and left alone. It's wonderful. My waste management truck driver is cool as hell. He drives up and says what's up every day, always enjoying a nice fat cigar. I started to appreciate those moments with cool people more often. Even if it's just a few minutes or a simple what's up. Life can be stressful sometimes, and you have to deal with people that you would like never met. Facilities a glorified janitor. The position has morphed. I started by cleaning floors and toilets. Now so many of my creative strengths are used. We're updating our campus. So we build furniture, construct new walls and stages, choose paint colors, engineer unique solutions for an aging campus, and so much more. I've learned electrical, concrete work, welding, sound engineering, drywall, installation of floors, ceilings, doors, stage backdrops, you name it. If something needs to be done, we get it done. I love it. Facilities manager here. You are right about the job morphing. Just remember the facilities motto: the last to know, the first to blame. Been doing it for 30 years. 17 years at GT in Atlanta. I can retire in 8 months. Congrats on the upcoming retirement. Before the pandemic shut everything down, I was a Broadway dresser. I got to work backstage on some awesome shows with pretty costumes and be a part of the magic. It was such a rewarding feeling. AI fellow stage crew, represent. Crying for our industry RN. I'm a meteorologist. I look at weather all around the world and work directly with Fortune 500 companies to help them prepare for natural disasters. Considering I've wanted to be a meteorologist since I was 5, it's a dream come true, and I feel blessed. I too dreamed of being a meteorologist as a child up through high school graduation. Everyone that knew me was aware of my passion for weather. However, as I planned to enroll in college, I became aware of the required advanced math classes. Totally tanked me. Couldn't hack the math, so I had to walk away. Joined the medical profession. Lol. Still absolutely love following the weather. I get calls and texts from family/friends throughout storm season. I live in Oklahoma, asking for my thoughts. Kudos for making it. Best wishes and blessings. Yeah, the math and physics weed a lot of people out, unfortunately. Sounds like you found a solid backup plan for your career though. Do you ever storm chase? I actually spent the last 4 summers chasing in the plains, including OK, and it's always a blast. I was a college librarian for 21 years up until recently and loved my job, interacting with students, faculty, technology, having access to any normal article or book, having a sense of helping appreciative people. It was a dream. My commute was 7 minutes. Decent pay. Good benefits. I can't do chats. Sorry, my iPad can't handle them. Close bracket. Library assistant here for 7 years, working at the welcome desk of a major university library. God, I love that job. It paid maybe $10 an hour and was part-time. But interacting with the patrons and sharing knowledge was so satisfying to me. My favorite part of the job was a student coming in saying, "How do I find a book?" which was a code phrase for "I have no clue what I'm doing. How do I even use the library that I'm paying thousands of dollars for?" And I had my own little 5-minute quick and dirty crash course so that they could be up and running. What I loved was giving them said crash course, and then they'd wander off into the stacks, and from there, they'd get the books they wanted, and maybe even others that were helpful. They'd often stop by and thank me, and by God, that was the best part of the day for me. Especially in the beginning of the semester, when they would drop by and go through, and I knew that I made it so that they didn't need me anymore, because they could do it on their own. This story may be a clue that you should be an educator. Edit. This comment was not a slight on librarians or library technicians. It in no way insults the profession or devalues it. This was a comment on the person's joy of watching people research and inquire based on the support they offered. Not every comment on here is diametric. Not all educators are public school teachers. There are all types of teachers/educators out there in every field. And there are endless types of classrooms. I'm a social worker. Currently I work with seniors who live alone with a disability and have no family to take care of them. I plan on getting my master's and becoming a therapist. After working construction for 8 years and getting a degree in business, I said duck it and followed my passion regardless of what everybody in my life said. I'm so ducking glad that I made that decision. It was really hard to get myself into the mindset that it's not too late. Once I was there though, I wasn't leaving. I put my foot down and was determined. Went to a community college. Got 12 credits. Working an entry-level social work job and will be applying for my master's once this shit show of a pandemic is over. Or maybe when I cave and decide to do online classes. Either way I feel like I'm living my dream. Even though I'm not nearly where I want to be. Yet edit 1. Wow. I appreciate all of the love so much. I fell asleep after posting this last night, but I promise I will try to respond to everyone once I get some free time today. I was scrolling to see if there was another social worker. I'm doing my master's right now, and I highly recommend it. Good luck and have fun with it. D. I just submitted my application to grad school for social work today. Fingers crossed I get accepted. I'm excited to go further into social services. I work at a grocery store. I love my coworkers. We're tight. My managers are really helpful and understanding. And I guess I just like working. I've done a lot of volunteering before this, so now that I'm still doing things for others but getting paid, it's pretty wild. Also, my coworkers are so fun. Did I mention them? I work in a homeless shelter. I was homeless like 10 years ago, and it feels good to help the marginalized community I was once a part of. Bless you. I work at a doggy daycare. I left vet teching after 12 years for something less stressful. Edited to at, since this comment has your attention, can you all please stop naming your dogs the same handful of names? This shit is hard to remember without having multiple Lunas, Lilies, Millies, etc. Thanks. I'll do my best to answer some questions after work tonight. I noticed a lot of the comments have to do with scooping poop. I'm keeping a running tally of how many poops I scooped today. Been at work for 3 hours. And we're already at 44 poops. Edit #2. Scoop 78 poops in a 9-hour workday. About 9 poops per hour. About a poop every 7 minutes. I guess that is a lot of poop. Interesting. I work in technology, and I was considering becoming a vet tech because I love animals and want to work with them one day. However, I've heard it is stressful. Could you elaborate? I think the part that I didn't realize would be so prevalent in vet teching is dealing with the owners of the pets. When it comes to their pets, mean people get meaner. Freelance illustrator and graphic designer. I've always liked the idea of making things that are useful to people in any way, and I always try to apply this mentality into my work. Not to mention that stimulating my creativity is something I've always enjoyed, and something this line of work requires on a constant basis. Of course, creative blocks are an issue occasionally, but it's still something I truly enjoy. I would have expected more designers on this thread. Getting to create for a living is a blessing. Some days I have to pinch myself that I'm paid to do what I do. There's a lot of pressure in creative jobs. Actor in live theater. I ducking love. D. My job. I was recently Squidward in the SpongeBob musical on tour in the US. Corona took that away. I'm currently a factory worker making sheet metal roofing and siding. It's one of the easiest jobs I've ever had. The work is relatively repetitive, but there's enough variation to keep it from getting boring. The people I work with are kind and funny. Management actually gives a shit about us, and the benefits are fantastic. I love working manual labor. I could never have a desk job. Nice man. I'm a sheet metal worker also. I do architectural though, OHH cool. I'm in the metal industry too. I mix different materials with raw aluminum to make different types of metals that get sent to you guys to make something cool out of it. I'm a medical specialized interpreter. And also general one. I like it that much that I'm mastering 2 other languages at the same time. Italian and French. To be an interpreter, English, Italian, Spanish, French. I work in a hospital and use medical interpreters all the time. Thank you for all you do. A great interpreter makes a huge difference in patient communication. I second this. You guys have the patience of an angel and really are the glue when it comes to hospital/patient communication. I have worked in zoos my entire career, mostly as a zookeeper, and now get to travel and work in conservation. Incredibly gratifying and truly feel I have never worked a day in my life with this career. This is what I wanted to do with my life. Majored in biology, minored in anthropology, focusing on primates. But didn't want to move to the city. Pretty much all zoos are in major cities and things are just more expensive there. What's your education background? How do you get started with it? Try Fort Wayne. The zoo is a great zoo, and the cost of living is low. You can live outside of town and still only have a 30 minutes at the maximum drive to work. I thought about working there but not sure. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.